Okay, you guys, you requested this, and I thought this was a fantastic idea. They both said yes. Please welcome Paul and Britt. You guys, how are you?
Hi.
All
I'm
right,
good. How are you?
I'm good. We were talking a little bit before, Britt and I, and just talking about how we're managing this whole sort of stay-at-home order. Paul, we didn't get your insight, and Britt, we'll go back and get your insight too. But what have you been up to? What are you doing? How are you feeling?
I feel like there's definitely ups and downs, of course. I mean, there's been like a change to my lifestyle and everyone's lifestyle, which is crazy. But I think overall, I found my balance. I found my groove. You know, I'm staying busy as much as possible. I think our industry is a kind of way where we're so used to being in charge of our own like day, and we're so used to being in charge of our own career and our own path. So it's like if we're not keeping busy, then it's like we're suffering because of it. It's not like where you go to school and you just learn a certain like thing and you get a certain amount of units and then you like get a certain job. Like it's for us, it's like work to get your job. So in my mind, I was like wired like that before this. So during the quarantine, I was like, oh my God, I'm like, I have all this built up energy 2020, you know? And then I'm like, now what? Now what should we do? But yeah, I found my groove. I'm like learning new things. It's kind of nice. Like I found like time to rest and time to like, I've been learning like, I picked up the ukulele. I picked up like, I'm like learning Spanish and stuff. I'm about to like take college courses, which is nice. So I think it's just like finding your own groove and just keeping busy. And it's okay not to do anything either. It's like some days I have like days where I'm just like literally doing nothing. I'm like, I can't even get out of bed and I'm just like, I don't feel like doing anything, which is okay, I think. And then there are days where you're just productive. So finding that groove, I think.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too. A lot of people have talked about that on social media of like, people are, you have to be creative. You don't have to be creative. If you're having a creative day, go with it. But if you're having a day where you need to sort of wallow in it, I think you should, because it's human, honestly.
Just getting used to the change. It's fine. It's like, no, we weren't prepared for this. So it's just going with the flow.
Well, we're not wired like this ever. Like never have we ever prepared to be in any sort of a situation like this in any industry. And so not only are we unprepared that way, but like our mental health is not equipped to deal with this. So many people, like, it's very difficult to balance that teeter-totter of sitting in bed and being productive, but it's okay because everybody's going through it together. You know, we're all experiencing the same thing.
Britt, I'd love to hear from you because I know that you were on set working on World of Dance as the shutdown happened in Los Angeles. What was that like? Because I know that they took the finale and said, we're going to do it one day earlier than anticipated.
Yeah.
And I know that was a quick turnaround for you guys. Because I talked to Dean Banowitz and he was like, okay, we had to really prepare what that meant in less than 24 hours.
Absolutely. It was a whirlwind of a season. First off, we shot in half the amount of time that we normally do. That was just half because we have a few new things this season that I can't share.
But actually, I want to let you know they're out there. They were in. I will say them. Okay, here's what I'll say because I got a press release from NBC, so it's official. And there's changes with the rounds and changes with how redemption round works and things like that, and changes how auditions and callbacks. And it's official, and I have it on my site, and I will link it so you guys can all read it.
Yes,
it doesn't get in trouble.
She always has the insider scoop. I just love it.
You always know everything before even I know. I'm always like, am I getting this job? Do you know?
I know. I knew you were in Troop before you did, right? One year. I feel like
so. You were like, oh my gosh, yeah. You like messaged me and I was like, I don't have my pickup letter yet.
Like, well, I was told you were.
That's so funny. But no, I mean, the season itself was an absolute whirlwind. So it was already like so speedy. And then to put it on top of it, we had to move the finale one day earlier. And these poor kids are like already so stressed out through the whole process because that's just how it is. That's how it is when you're on any reality TV show. I mean, Paul, you can attest to that also. But it was weird. We didn't have a studio audience for our finale.
Was it because of all the stuff that was going on? You guys just pushed everything
Yes,
quicker?
because of the COVID-19 stuff. And so we had audiences previous to this, and so then it was all built up to the finale, and then we have special effects to fill in, but it just felt different. It's a different feeling. So I'm interested to see how that comes out in post. But contestants pulled it out and really made it work. I mean, the creative team was just like up all night long, just trying to like work out how do you work out these logistics, because you have to think about props and build them in time, and they had a specific date, but now it's moved up and there's only so much manpower that can make all these things happen. So it was something that I won't ever forget, this process of just getting shut down in the middle of production. It was insane.
You know what's interesting too, because there's been some criticism of World of Dance, like why do you tape, why aren't you live? And there's a lot of financial reasons for that, because the cast is usually so big compared to like a So You Think You Can Dance and a Dance with the Stars. But in this case, this is one of the best things that you guys were
best case scenario. Yeah, absolutely.
And so I sit there and I go, because the other two shows, Dance with the Stars and So You Think You Can Dance, have no idea if they're going to be able to even take place in 2020. It could take until 2021 before we see them again. But World of Dance is going to be able to do that. And so sometimes all this preparation led to a win for World of Dance too for this. So I'm really excited that we have it.
Lucky, yeah.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to too.
Yeah, totally. I was trying to think the other day. I was like, how does this look for dancing or ballroom dancing or acting or whatever? Because like, even if productions open up again and production people have to wear masks or whatever that process is going to have to be for whatever amount of time, the talent it's a contact art, it's a contact sport. Like, you're sweating on each other, you're making out with each other, whatever the scene calls for. Like, how does that come back? You know,
I literally saw an article yesterday, but it was about like SAG and like film and television stuff, and they were talking about how it's for sure going to be a completely different industry, and how precautions are going to be taken, where like there's going to be, like, for example, in acting stuff, there's going to be less kissing scenes and less like interactive scenes as much as possible. So it's interesting because like dance is all contact, so I think that it's going to take a toll for a little bit on the dance industry, from even SAG and like the unions and all that stuff. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, Paul.
My phone just fell. What's it called? Yeah. So. But yeah, I think definitely it's gonna be rough. It's not gonna be easy, but I'm sure they'll find a way around it.
They'll find a way. And I've been kind of watching, Break the Floor did a whole live weekend in their North Hollywood studios. And it was kind of interesting watching how the dance educator was in the room, the, assistants, where everyone was socially distanced and spaced out. I'm like, possibly, I don't think Dancing with the Stars could do this, but I'm like, you could possibly do something with So You Think You Can Dance. You're not going to have that interaction in partnering, but you could still do possibly a group dance, solos would be easy. And I was like, I'm hoping So You Think was watching what Break the Floor did.
Isn't American Idol still happening? Like, they're finding a way to make, like, is there a way that So You Think kind of adapt that format? I don't know.
I think with So You Think it's going to be a lot easier with the contestants, because now, like, especially just recently, actually, they released like free testing in America, in Los Angeles or whatever it is. So like everyone in Los Angeles can get tested, and you could also get tested for antibodies to check if you've had it before and all that stuff. So I think with So You Think, what's cool is they put all the contestants together. So if everyone is tested
while you're on the show anyway.
Yeah, you're literally quarantined on the show. So I think the only thing is bringing in new choreographers to work with. That's where they need to be careful, and they need to be like just cautious. But I think with the contestants, everyone's already quarantined together. Like, we were all living together. We had like our own like stay. So in that sense, So You Think is lucky. I think it's like the other dance jobs in the industry that are gonna suffer.
Yeah.
So.
I just saw on Twitter earlier today, Paula Abdul said a year ago was her big Billboard Music
Yeah.
Awards performance, and I know you've worked with her, Britt. You were part of the dancers on stage. What's it like working with an icon like Paula?
Oh my God, she's the
Oh,
best. Well, I mean, she's such a character. Like, I knew Paula before I worked with her, and I knew her from the show. So you think, and she's just such a sweetheart. She's just like a little fireball and like firecracker, and she's like the fact that she's doing all that stuff at like I don't want to say a later age, but like she's just like she's an icon. Like she's been around for so long, you know. So like I was trying to keep up with her. So it's like it's really like inspirational. Like she has an insane work ethic. Probably one of the craziest work ethics from any artist that I've worked with.
She works so hard, and she will be the last one. She will come in early, and she will come in stay until no one is there.
Yeah.
Which is something that you don't often see from artists. I mean, obviously not every single day, you know, but she works incredibly hard. I have a very unique relationship with Paula because I actually competed on her show Live to Dance when I was 14 with Lindsay and Whitney Carson and Brooklyn Fulmer and Marquette, and a whole bunch of us were on the show together. Fiction was actually on that season. So
what's his real Deshaun? Is that
Deshaun? Yeah.
But so I've known her since I was 14, and having coming back and forth, our paths have crossed a lot since that time. And last summer I had the opportunity of working on her Vegas residency with Nappy Tab's creative team, which was an awesome experience. And like Paul said, she's such a hard worker, and it's interesting working for an artist like her because she has been in our shoes as choreographers. So it's an interesting dance of like, I can't tell you exactly, like it has to be a collaboration with her.
She knows what she wants. I'm sure she knows the overall look.
How she likes it, and that's
like perfectionist
also cool.
too, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think that's what has kept her going for so long as well, because she just like is so like she just knows what she wants, and she wants it to be perfect. Like she was drilling us dancers like nonstop and making sure we were all clean, and like because also during that time it was so like dance was so like it had to be done a specific way, especially that style of dance. So we were new to that. Like I had never trained in like that specific style of like jazz or the funk that she had. So she was like drilling us to the core with like the moves that we were doing, and it was great. It was really refreshing. Definitely exhausting, but really refreshing.
I mean, she was like iconic, and it's just cool because she's so open to teaching you, and it's cool as a young dancer to learn from Paula Abdul. Like there was one day when she was practicing her little tap thing, and she wanted me to review it with her, but I didn't quite know the choreography because I was a different compartmentalized thing. But and she taught me her routine, and I was like, this is so cool. Like I'm learning tap from Paula Abdul. Like it's just stuff that you don't even think about as a kid, but like when you're there, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like, those memories you'll always have too, no matter what. You're like, I learned tap from Paula Abdul. I think. I mean, those are the things like you tell your grandkids, and they'll be like, what?
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Well, and I think also her longevity in the business, and the whole myth of like, oh, you're 30 and you can't dance anymore. Obviously, you can dance. She's someone, and she's had injuries too. That's not a secret. But taking care of your body and taking care of yourself also helps allow you to move in your 50s, 60s, and beyond. So I think that's awesome.
Well, I think dancers, you have to be young spirited to be a dancer. I think it's just the inner kid stays alive 100%. When you are a dancer. And so I am a firm believer as if you dance, you live longer.
Yeah.
True.
But that's just, I don't know, but she's a great testament to like, you can do whatever you say.
And her jump at the billboards, her jump,
Oh my gosh.
Whenever, like, I was frightened because I was the head guy that had to, like, because there was like safety protocols that we had to follow for that jump. And I was one of the guys in the front that had to like cue that everyone was in line. And I had to look at her and be like, okay, we're doing this, like, no matter what. And so the fearlessness in her eyes, sometimes she would go before I would even like cue her. Like, she just went for it. Like, there was one time that I think the scariest for us, there was one time where we weren't like, she kind of stumbled getting up there. So we're like, okay, she's not going to jump this time. And then luckily we were still all prepared. Like, we're like, okay, she's not jumping. And then all of a sudden she just goes for it. And we're like, no, like everything was in slow-mo. But
Oh
it's
my
crazy.
gosh.
Like, she's so fearless. Like, I don't know if I mean, I probably would do that, but like, it's still
She did
scary.
that
Like, it's
every
like,
night.
she
Every
did
night
that.
at her residency.
Crazy. It's crazy.
She trusts you though too. I think that's the other thing that's kind of the bottom line. She knew that even if she looked like she wasn't going to go and then she went, she trusted that you guys were going to be there in that place.
Yeah. And we got her. But it just was a funny moment. We were just like, what's going on? We might drop her. Like, it just wasn't, it was unexpected. So
You don't want to be the head guy that was like, I dropped.
Right, because I was like, because that would have been my fault, you know? But,
oops.
Oh,
Since this is like a dynamic duo series, I want to know what makes you guys a dynamic duo, because there is just great chemistry with you guys on the dance floor. You collaborate really well together. Obviously, you each have strengths that when you bring them together, it makes an even stronger team. What is magic?
what is magic? Well, I mean, Paul and I are like great friends. We've known each other for a very long time. I think something that sets us apart from a lot of other dance duos is we are completely like honest and upfront about everything with each other, and that just only makes us have a more honest and real relationship. And then we just take that to the dance. Like, I don't know, I think that your lives carry into your performance sometimes, and for us that kind of plays into our connection.
Totally. And I think that especially we were lucky that kind of our career paths kept leading us to work together. And like I have a story with Brittany where the first time I met her was at an audition for like this like Disney thing. And we were in the same group together, and I did like a backflip or whatever it was, and I almost hit her, and like the whole room was like, oh no, like you almost hit her or whatever. And so after that, I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize, it was like one of my first auditions too. I didn't know what I was doing. And so I was like, I'm so sorry, like I almost hit you, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I didn't even notice, whatever. And it kind of like that's kind of what started like our interaction and acquaintance. And then after that we did So You Think together, and then we got even closer, and then we just started doing tours together, like Derek and Julianne's tour, and then we started working on Ed Sheeran's like tour together, and then we did like Dancing with the Stars. So like all these things just kept happening where we just were like not forced, but like we just happened to work together like constantly, and we just got hired on things together. So I think we found like this trend with each other where it was like the universe telling us we have to work together, we have to create together. So then we started creating concepts. We started traveling like to India and China and all of these things where we had opportunities to work together and create. And of course, like whenever you do things that are first in your life, like traveling to another country or experiencing a performance, like to create a choreography for, like in India, we created like this choreography where it's like a mix between Bollywood and like ballroom, and like, so it's like we had a lot of like bursts in the sense of like dance world and industry and career together as well. So it was kind of like we kind of grew together in the industry, and that kind of grew our relationship as friends too. And we've just always been great. Like she said, we've been so honest and like just straight up with each other. There's no like filters or like covers where we're just pretending to be something we're not. We're just straight up with each other. We have creative freedom. We have we create a creative outlet. So I think that's what kind of like kept us going for so long. And I know that after this, we're gonna figure out a way to make something happen. So.
And there's like there is a lot of respect between the two of us for one another. And I think that is the utmost important thing in any partnership,
Right.
on and off the dance floor. So I think that's, you know, where it all stems from, you know, and because we have worked so like much together, we've kind of created a brand unintentionally. We've just done so many projects together, and because we're friends, people like working together with us as a pair because we have great energy, and that then expands around, and then people are like, oh, I want Brittany and Paul again. But then on my resume, it's not like I only dance with Paul.
Right.
it just happens that way, and your vibe is your tribe. So I think that, you know, the good energy and the friendship that we've created with each other then expands in the workplace and just makes people want us to be around again. And then people in India see things, or people in, where did we go? Kuwait see things.
Oh, yeah,
And we've been everywhere together.
Yeah.
I actually just took my first trip without Paul ever. It was my first trip traveling without Paul, and I was so sad. I tried to get you on the job with me.
Egypt. And
I went to Saudi Arabia without Paul, and I was like, can you please come?
Do we need to get one team nappy taps?
Yeah. Well, we always try to get Paul, but Paul's booked and blessed.
Well, I think that's what's cool also is like we both have our own, like Brittany was saying, we both, it's not like we're just booked as a pair. We both do our own things and we grow individually. And I think that's what's cool too, because we always have that have that connection together to like always help each other out. And if there's anything I ever can think of, I always think of Brittany, you know, like for a gig or whatever it is. So I think as we grow individually, it also grows our brand too, which is cool because then we get to work together again. And when honestly, like I'd rather work with someone I enjoy working with rather than work with someone that I'm just like not vibing with, even if they're a great dancer. So I think that in itself is so important for the industry, for anyone. So yeah. The Kartarians, that's what they call us.
Yeah, that's our ship name, Kartarians.
Kartarians, I love it. Have you hashtagged that a lot? Guys, do you do it?
There was like fan pages and stuff that just kept calling us Kartarians, and so we just stuck with it. It just stuck with us for some reason.
It's so funny. There's like fan accounts that are like Paul and Brittany.
Like
I like that though.
They post, yeah. It's. I mean, it's cool. It's so. It's like
cool. It's surreal.
It's surreal. Yeah. It's like so humbling to think that people are like that, like supportive and investive, and like that's why I'm always as nice as I can be to people that reach out. And then there's the weirdos, of course.
The nicest human you'll ever meet in general. So, I mean,
you guys are really nice people. I'll vouch for both of you.
we love you.
I love you too. I know. I was just thinking about your brand. Have you ever thought to submit to So You Think together?
Yes, we have.
We have thought about it. It just hasn't happened. Never the right.
Yeah, because it was like I think the time that we tried to submit was last year, but I don't know what it was. We were both busy.
Like we didn't have the time to get together and submit something or something.
Yeah, and so it was like it was very like last second, and then we just were like, let's just put our heads together and create something, and then we'll submit next year, which we still haven't done. But
we say it every year. But we have had that conversation with Jeff though, and it could happen, but
he's open to it. I'm sure he loves having alums come back.
Right, for sure, for sure. I'm not worried.
And you know, hey, if the season gets a little delayed too, maybe there's a little time. If we can like get out of our houses and somehow learn to distance and dance.
Yeah, I'm trying to find those loopholes too. I mean, there's testing and stuff now, which is nice. So if someone is fully quarantining and then you just go and get, because I got tested like for the antibodies and for the virus itself, and like you can do that and you can know if someone is like safe or not. And I think that's going to open a lot of doors for people working together again. So I'm sure it's going to come soon. I'm not worried.
I was reading an article about people beginning to expand their pods, is what they're calling it, where like limit 10 people that they can see. They are open to seeing. Like we started hanging out with our neighbors across the hallway, and so now we have 4 people that we've been quarantining with. And yesterday I was talking to my boyfriend. I was like, maybe we could quarantine with Paul and Stella too, because I really want to dance.
Wait, Brian is killing it. I see your TikToks. You guys are doing some cool moves. I love it. You're like,
Oh my gosh, guys, I love him dearly, but he is not a dancer at all.
yeah, but it's so like he like I love that he's like trying and he's like wanting to do
He
it. That's
loves you. That's
He fully commits. He fully commits. He has the funniest story he loves to tell, but when we, let's see, yeah, Emma and Sasha got married like a year and a half ago, I think, or something like that. Anyways, so he had come to the wedding. I was in the wedding party, and obviously at Emma and Sasha's wedding, it was all the Dancing with the Stars cast, past celebrities, past cast members, a bunch of people in the floor industry. Like it was all professional dancers, and my boyfriend. And he got so drunk, but had liquid courage and danced full out all night next to all the professional dancers, and he is so proud of it.
the best way to do it. They just celebrated their 2-year anniversary, just to let you know. How time passes so quickly.
Wow.
Amazing.
It flew by.
It really did. It's unbelievable. Well, you guys, this flew by too. I'm so excited that you agreed to do this.
yeah.
Thanks so much for
fun.
having us.
I know. You're like the first of my dynamic duos, so this is good.
Yeah.
I know. And I don't know who suggested it, so tag me whomever suggested this idea, because this was a good one, and we'll have more coming. So
Yes, let's do it again.
yes.
High fives all around. High fives all around.
High five.
Down, upside. Wait, Brittany, I can do that.
I don't know where we are in the thing, in the Zoom.
Oh, you
like,
gotta go like this.
You gotta go
I gotta go like that.
There we go.
High fives.
High fives. All right, I'm looking forward to World of Dance. I'm looking forward to seeing you both of you in person, and hopefully.
I can't wait to hug you.
I know. I'm so excited. May 26th, Tuesday, 10 p.m. Everyone.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Be safe.
Bye.
Be healthy. I'll see you all soon.
Have a good one.
Bye.